Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Bradley Thompson here, and this is episode 39. I think it's episode 39. I always forget the number of the episode, and this is my life. Thanks for listening. We're about to get fired up. I just had a wonderful conversation with Kaila Yu. She's a very special guest. We did it over Skype, so if there's any Skype difficulties, you shout out Skype on Twitter, Instagram, everything. Let them know that the platform is broken because it's not me, okay? Don't hate. Hate on Skype. If you're hating on anything, hate on Skype. But yeah, it was a fantastic conversation with Kaila Yu. We did it via Skype, and it was awesome. If you guys don't know who she is, basically she is a travel writer, and she has had a very awesome journey in life. She used to be in a band called Nylon Pink, and that band, it was a girl band. They did rock music, and they toured the world back in the day, and that sort of turned into a blog eventually. When they sort of stopped playing music, it turned into a blog, and the blog is called nylonpink.tv, and it's still going. It's very popular. They have articles about fashion, beauty, food, all that sort of good stuff. And it's a few of the girls from the old band that run the blog, including Kaila. From there, Kaila started her own blog, her own personal blog. They have a bunch of other blogs, her and her friends. But yeah, they're killing it. They're killing it in the travel blogging world. And on top of that, they decided they might as well launch a book, release a book. And the book is called 30-Day, I want to make sure I get it right, 30-Day Travel Challenge, How to Make Your Travel Dreams a Reality. And this book will sort of help you, book your next travel adventure. If you're finding like, oh, it's too expensive to travel, I don't know what to do, dude. This book will help you. It'll give you all the hacks. It'll give you all the tips that you need in small increments so you can actually travel the world like she has traveled the world. And I'm super jealous about that. But yeah, it was a fantastic conversation. She's very cool. She has a lot of experience, a lot of expertise in the world of travel because she does it. So make sure you hit her up on social media at Kaila Yu, so KailaYu on Instagram, Twitter. You can check out Nylon Pink on all that sort of good stuff. Nylon Pink is on YouTube as well, Nylon Pink Official, and then you can check her personal website out at KailaYu.com, KailaYu.com. I almost messed it up. And then nylonpink.tv. And then you can grab their book that her and the co-author wrote. I think it was Kiki. Check it out. Check it out. It's hella lit. Grab it on Amazon. You're already buying, I don't know, your egg holder, your USB-C, your Nerf gun. I bought a Nerf gun the other day because I'm 24 years old and might as well. I've never had a Nerf gun before, bought a Nerf gun on Amazon. So you might as well also buy the 30-Day Travel Challenge because that just makes it better, okay? Yeah, I don't know. This episode was awesome. Check it out. Keep listening. You'll learn a lot. There's a lot of random tips too that will just change your life. There's one about basically global entry. Blew my mind. Didn't know this was a thing. Okay. So enjoy this week's episode 39 of the Living the Canadian Dream podcast today with Kaila Yu. And it's all about travel. Let's get right into it. Right meow. Right now. That's from a movie. Right now we're listening. I'm gonna keep prolonging this intro. Right now we're going into the Living the Canadian Dream podcast, episode 39 with Kaila Yu. Let's go.
Welcome to Canadian Dream.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Bradley Thompson here, and this is episode 39 of the Living the Canadian Dream podcast. We are here today with episode 39, as I just said, because I like to repeat myself. We are here via Skype. And today, I have a super special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Kaila Yu. I'm a travel expert, and I'm really dedicated to help people who find travel not accessible, have it be more accessible, and help people live out their wildest travel dreams.
For sure. Perfect. I love it. I totally thought your name was pronounced Kayla, so I'm happy that you said it. That's why I sort of did that way. Because
Everybody does that.
Yeah, I have a tendency to say the wrong name. I was just like, oh, I don't want to do it. Okay, so Kaila Yu, and I've sort of done my research on you. We sort of connected online, and you have a very cool history. So to sort of go over a few things, you were once in a rock group. Now you're sort of turned into a travel blogger, travel writer. You have a book, and you're doing all this awesome stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place.
Yeah, which is all good though.
It's like a typical, I guess. Wait, does it matter that I'm from Los Angeles?
No,
Okay.
no, it's all good. No, we've had people from all over, to be honest. And yeah, like the whole point of this podcast is really just like, how do you do things that help you like live your dreams? Like, just how do you do things, to do the things that you want to do, really? Like, just people that are experts in their own areas, whether it's like, marketing, entrepreneurship, like any of that stuff. Yeah, we've had a really diverse range of guests on the podcast, so it's all
awesome.
good. Yeah. So you have a background in music, which is awesome. So you had a band with how many other group mates was it?
It was a 5-piece band.
Okay, 5-piece band. And you guys were a rock group, correct?
Yeah, all girl, all Asian. It wasn't intended to be all girl or all Asian, but somehow we just let go of band members along the way, and then it was replaced by Asian girls somehow. And then once we had the formula, we were like, okay, this is something that we're going to stick with.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you guys are called Nylon Pink.
Yeah, we were, because the band no longer exists.
Yeah.
But yes, we were in Nylon Pink. We toured all around the world, and it was so much fun, but there's just not really a lot of money in music unless you're Lady Gaga. There's no in-between musicians. It's either you are starving or you are a world-famous musician, basically.
Sure, I can definitely see that. And I think that's similar for a lot of creative fields. Unless you're like, the standouts is just like, it's a struggle. Yeah, but that's a really cool experience though. Like just traveling the world, playing music, doing something that you enjoy. How did you guys come up with the name Nylon Pink? That's a very unique name.
Well, pink just being several of our favorite color, but we also had a like very fashion aspect to our band.
For sure.
So nylon just kind of pulling in the fashion vibe, and then we just wanted to create a word that didn't exist. But the problem is everyone then mistook our name for neon pink, which like seems stupid, or pink nylon, which also seems stupid. So there are a lot of mistaken renditions of our name that we didn't like.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see that. So you were lead vocals for this band as well, right?
Yeah, I was lead vocals, and now I do travel writing with my partner Kiki, who used to be the lead guitarist.
Oh, that's awesome. So you still have connections with the band. That's awesome.
Yeah, 3 of us are best friends.
That's really good. Because you hear like stories of people like, they tour together and then they just do not like each other after. So it's good that you guys are still friends and stuff like that. You're doing other stuff together, which is awesome.
Like all my favorite bands, everyone hates the lead singer.
It's
like
true,
Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, Skid Row.
Yeah.
All of them hate their lead singers like 30 years later. They still hate them. So I mean, touring's tough. To be honest, like what I learned about in being in a band is that I love traveling, but I don't really love touring.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I can only imagine that the schedule is probably pretty hectic as well, right?
Yeah, you don't get to see as much as what you want to. And then when you're sightseeing, you're kind of stressed out. You know, either you had a good show and you're stressed about your next performance, or you had a bad show, so you're depressed about the performance and stressed about the next performance. Is just like, yeah,
For
I just want to go travel and not have anything to worry about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that just makes sense then, like that you guys started a travel blog. So did that come sort of naturally? It sort of formed from the band into the travel blog?
Yeah, it came pretty naturally. After the band split apart, we had this website and had a fair amount of traffic, and we had a little bit of a fan base, and we weren't
Mm-hmm.
going to be publishing or creating any more music, but we didn't want to have this website go completely to waste.
For sure.
So we had already been, as a band, blogging about our performances, so that included some travel within it, so it wasn't like just a totally out of the blue transition.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Which makes sense though. Like that's awesome. So you guys leveraged the audience that you already had, which is ideal. And then you sort of transitioned into sort of a rebranding, I would say.
Yeah,
It
and we
seems so.
lost some fans along the way, definitely, because they were like, what the hell, we don't care about travel.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we gained other ones along the way, so it all evened out.
Yeah, yeah, which makes sense though. But you guys definitely found a niche because you guys are, I was looking through your stuff, like you guys have a lot of active followers and stuff like that. And just the content that you guys are creating is just it's awesome. It's really good. It's very niche but very valuable.
Yeah, it's just so important to niche down. And as we find a niche, we even try to niche down even more. I
Hmm.
find that's like kind of the way to succeed in social media or business or whatever.
Yeah.
Unless you're a giant with millions of dollars to throw at the project, you got to niche down.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. So right now you're based in LA. You're doing the Nylon Pink
Hmm.
blog, but you also have your own personal blog as well.
Yeah, I have my own personal blog, and my personal brand is like I'm all about wellness travel.
Okay.
So, there's all kinds of trends. It's a really popular segment in travel. It's the fastest growing one.
Hmm.
And there's all this crazy stuff out there like digital detox retreats and silent meditation retreats.
Yes, I have heard about a lot of those. Yeah. That's
Yeah, so it's
crazy.
all about returning healthier, more refreshed, and with some good habits.
Yeah. Which is a very interesting. Yeah, I can definitely see that trending because like you hear about that stuff. I don't know if you follow Tim Ferriss
Oh
at
yeah,
all.
Tim Ferriss. I was
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
recommend his book actually.
Yeah, yeah.
He is
Oh
my
yeah,
guru
he's the
of
man.
life. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the man. Like especially he always talks about that stuff. A lot of his guests talk about like the silent meditations, all that sort of stuff. It's very unique. Have you ever done any of those, like the silent meditations before?
I haven't yet, but there's this awesome silent retreat that takes place in Joshua Tree near me
Oh,
that
cool.
everyone should know about. My friends have been on it, but it's like 10 days silent retreat, totally free. I think you just have to volunteer, but I can't clear 10 days where I just am completely off the grid.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that does kind of scare me. Like I could do the silent retreat, but I need to be able to check. I have clients and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could unplug that effectively. So I've done like juicing retreats and other kinds of ones, but not the silent one or the digital detox one in particular.
Very cool. Um, for anybody that doesn't know what a silent retreat is, could you break that down for just everybody?
Yeah, it's generally in the meditation space.
Mm.
So basically, you just go to a retreat and you're not allowed to talk
That's
for,
great.
a day, 3 days, 10 days, whatever it ends up being. But you learn by not talking how much noise is created just by chatter. And then actually, you would think that if you didn't talk, like all the voices in your head would take over, but they actually go down, like they
Oh,
quiet
okay.
down. And that's
Interesting.
kind of the ultimate goal to just, and usually there's a lot of meditation involved
Yeah.
during the silent retreats also.
Yeah. Because from what I know, from sort of the silent retreat stuff, is that if you go to one of those, you can't even have like technology with you or anything.
No,
Like you have to
yeah,
really like just silent.
yeah, you are silent. No books. Yeah, nothing.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know if I could do
Yeah,
that.
it's hard. Maybe like a 3 day. I could do a
Yeah,
3 day.
maybe. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Even one day is like
Yeah.
it's kind of rough for me. I don't know.
But just
Yeah.
try it out at home, or
Yeah,
you could like
maybe.
go back to the phone if you desperately need to.
Yeah. No, for real though. Have you ever
But
tried like float tanks or any of those things?
I haven't actually. That's one
Oh,
that it's really big in LA actually. So
yeah.
I should try out one real soon. But
Yeah.
Tim Ferriss also recommends just taking like a, I don't know what he calls it, but it's like a news detox where you don't read anything. So
Okay.
you don't read magazines or books or news. And he does that every once in a while because it's just information overload. So you can do it without doing a getaway in some
Yeah.
format.
I can definitely see that helping though, because there is a lot of information out there and you're just always bombarded. Just even I think even like just shutting off your push notifications,
Yeah.
that's just
Ugh,
like the 2019 way of detoxing, to be honest.
definitely.
Yeah, but if you're like into that stuff, definitely try out the float tank. Like I did it a couple months ago and it's a very interesting experience. It's I assume probably a similar experience, just a lot shorter than a
Yeah.
silent retreat. Because you're in there for only an hour. But it feels like a very long time. So
So do you have to hold yourself up or like how are you
no,
floating?
so it's all Epsom salts. It's just salt, and it's just so buoyant that you just float. So it's like
So,
if you
so
were
you
to
couldn't like sink if you wanted to.
yeah, so you can't sink. Like if you stand up
Ah,
straight
okay.
and you like walk in it, you can walk around and touch the floor. But if you're just like laying flat, you'll float. It's like the Dead Sea because it's just so buoyant. Just because there's so much salt. It's a very interesting experience. It's
An
very
hour
interesting.
seems like a long time though. Do you like sleep or
Yeah, you just kind of honestly just close your eyes and just chill. Just
okay.
sort of just breathe. Some people they like put on music and stuff like that. Um, which is another sort of way of doing it. But I tried it without music and it was very interesting. It was very interesting to say the least.
So
But
I'll
it's
have to
it's
try that for sure.
yeah, it's a good experience. Um, about the I've never heard of the detox retreat. What is that?
Well, a digital detox retreat is essentially just a silent retreat.
Okay.
Because except you don't need to be silent. But
Okay.
it's never mind. It's not like a silent retreat, but in retrospect. But you have no cell phone. You have no
Okay.
like no digital access, no TV, no nothing. So you're totally unplugged, no Wi-Fi.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you said you did a juicing retreat before? Was that?
Yeah, so that's just a retreat where you're fasting.
Oh,
So all
okay.
you drink is juice for say 5 days.
Oh, very.
Um, and as you probably know, fasting is very healthy to do once in a while
Yeah,
also.
for sure. Yeah, I actually intermittent fast. I, I don't know. I've just sort of been doing it for the last like, to be honest, 4 months. It's been good. It's different though. It's
Yeah,
tricky.
people swear by it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's all different methods. Because I just spoke to someone who said they only intermittent fast between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m.
Hmm.
And then I was like, I already do that. Like, I don't eat breakfast and I don't eat
Yeah.
after 8 p.m. So am I already intermittently
Yeah,
fasting?
yeah. A
Like,
lot of people do. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, because it's just basically like just don't eat late at night and just make it so you're not eating meals just for the sake of eating meals, to be honest. Like that's really what it's for. And then you
yeah.
go into ketosis and stuff like that, but that's just a plus. So yeah, I don't know. It's a very interesting thing. So a juicing retreat, you fast and just drink juice. So I guess like
Yeah,
healthy juice.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. I've never heard about it before. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's actually been going on for a while, so it's not like digital detox that's like a new trend.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty sweet. Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about sort of like your travel experiences and stuff like that. Where have you been in the world? Where are your favorite places? Like countries or even cities?
Yeah, that's a difficult one to narrow down. But I am just like, out of everywhere I travel, I just love Asia. Asia
Okay.
is always like just my number one favorite. And also because I'm a huge foodie, so food and street food especially drives where I travel to.
Very cool.
I definitely don't want to go somewhere with bad food.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't went anywhere where there's been no good food, but
Yeah.
and I want very
I
cultural
have a question
food.
for you. Have you ever been to Cuba?
I haven't, but I'm sure
Oh,
that's
that's
delicious.
no, a lot of people go and they say that is just the worst food. But they are
Really?
staying,
But
yeah, they
Cuban
are.
food's so good.
Yeah, I think it's because a lot of them they stay at like because it's Cuba's
Ah,
super
okay.
cheap. They stay at
Yeah.
resorts. It's super cheap to stay at resorts. At least for Canadians. I don't know what it is for the States, but
No,
a
no,
lot
no.
of
There's
people
a
go to.
key.
Oh yeah,
There's a
yeah, there
key
is.
for Cuba. You're
Yeah, I
supposed
totally
to
forgot about
go.
that. Yeah.
There are restaurants that people run out of their own house. Like
Oh,
those are the ones you're supposed to go to.
that's
Resort food
crazy.
never is good because it's always like watered
Authentic.
down for,
Yeah.
sorry, white people. So,
No, no.
people with
Fact.
not very like retired people with not very adventurous taste buds is what resort food is catered to.
Yeah, I
So
see
if
that.
you can find and locate these restaurants set up inside people's homes, like I've heard those are amazing.
That's crazy. That's a very interesting thing to just go to somebody's house. But I guess that's sort of how you meet people. You get the sort of the real cuisine.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So you like street food. What's your like sort of favorite street food? Would you say like what country do you say has the best street food?
Well, Taiwan definitely has the best street food in the world.
Really? Oh.
I mean, it's not just because I'm Taiwanese. I think many people will say that. I don't know. It's just like I feel like the food in Taiwan's so delicious. You could go to like expensive restaurants, but the best food is just on the streets. And
Yeah,
there's so much innovation happening there because it's competitive. So everyone wants the newest, greatest street food.
for
So
sure.
every time you go back, there's something new to try.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a really big travel destination, I hear as well. A lot of people are going to Taiwan.
Yeah,
Um,
it's great.
that's awesome. Yeah, I've always wanted to go. I hear it's beautiful. So
Yeah, you have to go.
yeah, yeah. Where would you recommend going in Taiwan?
Well, I mostly spent time in Taipei.
Okay.
And then also, if you love hot springs, which are also wellness, then the Beitu Hot Springs area, which is just like 30 minutes outside of LA, is definitely a must stop by because they have all these natural hot springs and hotels that have
That's
hot
really cool.
springs in like tubs in your room where you can turn on the faucet and have hot spring water come in.
That sounds so sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's very cool. What other country would you say is sort of underrated or like under the radar but like amazing?
Um, I was just in Curacao, and many people don't even know where that is.
I'm not gonna lie,
So,
I have no idea where that is.
like, I think 80 to 90% of people that I say it to don't know where it is.
Yeah.
And it's actually just right next to Aruba. So it's in the
Okay.
Caribbean.
Okay.
And why it's awesome is because Aruba, is awesome, but it's kind of overrun with
Hmm.
tourism. And Curacao is kind of like the more low-key, cheaper version of Aruba, but with
Very-
all the same natural snorkeling, all kinds of same
Yeah.
amenities.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome. That's very cool. So I've never even heard of that country. That's wild.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. That's cool. So like sort of, I guess you can obviously they have reefs and stuff like that, so you can go snorkeling. That's cool. Um, where would you say has been like sort of your worst sort of travel experience? What place? Do you have one?
Do I have one? Okay, I'm gonna have to say
or
not
even
India,
disappointing, just even disappointing, like.
the India airport in, I think Delhi.
Okay.
Oh my God, yeah. So not India. India was awesome,
Okay.
but at the India airport, I felt like there was some kind of weirdness with women. And when we were going to the customs counter, this group of three guys in uniform came up and they started interrogating us just in the middle of the, um, we weren't in a room or anything. And they were
Mhm.
like just asking all kinds of questions like, where's the last place you visited? And
Yeah.
you usually go up to the counter with the guy and then they
Yeah.
formally have the stamp or whatever.
For sure.
And this went on for like 10 minutes. And then I was like, finally, I was like, what are you asking this about? Like, what is this about?
Yeah.
And then we just walked away because they were just harassing us.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I that would definitely make the trip really negative. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not cool. Were you guys leaving or were you just getting there?
We were just getting there.
Oh my
So.
gosh, yeah.
But
That's the
luckily
worst.
after that, after we were there with the Indian tourism board, so after we connected with them, then everything was smooth. But this was before when we were still on our own.
Yeah, like you had like a negative first impression. That's never fun.
Yeah, but
But
airports, are never exciting.
yeah.
Usually.
And some of them are very strict and stuff too, as you can imagine. But I don't know. It's very interesting. I've never heard about that happening, but I hear people do get interrogated, obviously at airports. It's just how it is. But
Oh,
that's
that's
very weird.
happened to
Yeah.
me before
Really?
several times. Well, back when I used to be in a band, we
Okay.
would carry a ton of merch with us. So
Mm.
there's been times, because you're not supposed to travel for business, you have to like get a specific visa and report it and everything.
Oh, okay.
And,
Yep.
90% of people just don't do that because it's the unnecessary hassle.
Yeah.
So there's been situations where, I don't know if they caught it in their x-ray or something, and then the customs agent would open up my suitcase and there'd be 100 CDs in there with my picture on it. And then I'd get interrogated and brought into a back room, and I've had stuff confiscated before.
Yeah. But there's no way of really getting around 100 CDs.
Yeah.
With your face on it too.
Yeah, not happening today.
Yeah,
though, luckily.
that's funny. When you travel, do you usually go Airbnb, hostel, hotel? What do you
I
usually
gotta
do?
say that I am more on the luxury end of things.
Okay.
I can't do the Airbnb because, like, when I'm on vacation, I do not want to make my bed or clean my room. Like, I'm on
Nice. Yeah.
vacation, I could do that at home.
For
I
sure. Yeah.
want my room, when I return from my excursion, I want it to be pristine and perfect.
Yeah.
And I want the option of room service if I want it.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Because that, like, especially if it's been a long day or you have to leave early in the morning, like, room service is always like key.
Or hotel buffets in Asia are sometimes mind-blowing. They are really, really, really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
interesting.
you'd be missing out on those hotel buffets.
Yeah, that sounds good. Like that's probably better than like
No, these
Toronto
hotel
continental
buffets.
breakfasts.
Yeah. No, the Asian hotel buffets, they have like a fresh noodle station where
Oh,
they're
that
making,
sounds so good.
like it's like, and an omelet station. They have all these stations of fresh food being made. So it is,
Yeah, that's
you don't
legit.
want to miss it.
Yeah, that's legit. That's definitely worth it. So you're a hotel person. That's all good. Do you prefer, say, doing, I guess like travel experiences where you're at a resort or like you're sort of doing
No.
adventurous stuff?
Well, I do like a resort to stay at night, but
Okay.
I love to go on excursions.
Okay.
So I might, sign on for a tour that has nice hotels, but then all day long we're running around looking at different things or hiking and snorkeling and
For sure.
cultural experiences. Like I love it when you can go into somebody's house and they're teaching a cooking class,
Yeah.
like the kind of stuff Anthony Bourdain does on his show.
Yeah.
Off the beaten path experiences.
Yeah, that's really cool. So do you usually book your tours and stuff through the hotel, or do you sort of just go off on your own? Like, what is your sort of goal with tours?
I so I've done both, and I prefer to just find a tour company that I love and just sign on for the tour. And then usually hotels are included.
Oh, okay.
Different hotels along the way. And I've planned the last time we went to Peru, I planned every step of it. And it was exhausting. I just
Yeah,
like to
yeah.
have a tour person just be like, okay, be there at 8, and then off to the next thing. And they have all the transportation and everything planned.
Yeah, yeah, and you don't have to worry about anything, which is perfect.
Yeah.
And it's probably a lot safer too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in
But
case,
the
yeah.
one downfall is that I recommend that you get a tour that does not have dinners included because the places they tend to take you to eat are like places they have agreements with. So you'll
Hmm.
go in and there'll be like 10 other tourist groups there, and you're like, this is probably not the like most authentic, coolest place to eat. It's like the place the tour company got the best deal with.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, and it's probably like the most popular tourist place, but not the most authentic
Yeah.
too, I assume. Oh, cool. So you guys have a book, so a 30-day travel challenge.
Yes. Yeah, we're really
Cool.
excited about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what is it about? Give it a little like quick pitch. Not even like a pitch, just like a quick summary about what the book is about, why it's helpful.
So yeah, we're always talking about travel or posting about our travel experiences, and then we
Yep,
get so many questions and comments from people saying, "Oh, I wish I could travel like that," or "I can't afford to travel," or "How do I do that?"
for sure.
So we just the book details a 30-day challenge where every day is dedicated to one facet of travel, whether it be research, budgeting, or our entire first week is wellness. So
For sure.
people get really confused because they're like, why are we meditating in this book about travel challenges? But our argument is that you have to get your mind right to
For sure.
optimally do anything effectively.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
spend the whole first week breaking down different travel, I guess, objections, like I can't afford to travel.
Okay.
Because, yeah, maybe you can't afford to go on the $5,000 luxury trip, but if you save up for a year, you can travel somewhere internationally just with the right budgeting and planning.
For
And then
sure.
we go over travel hacking things. So if you want to go that way, there's also that option.
Very cool. I like it. Yeah, that's very informative. So this whole sort of process breaks down to 30 days.
Yeah, so every day we'll go over something different. So, for
Hmm.
example, on say I'm just pulling this out because I don't remember the order, but
Yeah,
like
yeah, for sure.
day 3, say we covered journaling because it's in the first week, and then you kind of journal about freehand, which is also something Tim Ferriss goes over.
Yeah, yeah,
Journaling is really good for opening your creativity and opening your mind to different ideas.
for
So
sure.
you might journal on the topic of why I'm not traveling now, and then
For
um,
sure.
that may bring out some subconscious ideas of why you aren't traveling right now, what's holding you back.
Hmm.
And then skip to like a week 3, we might go over just nuts and bolts, like one day as budgeting. So by week 3 you've maybe chosen your destination that you want to travel to, so let's break it down onto all the different costs and how to budget for it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's very structured, but like that's very helpful for
Yeah,
sure.
I just love a good 30-day challenge myself. I've done all kinds of different 30-day challenges. So I just didn't see one in particular geared towards travel. So I
Hmm.
kind of just made it for myself, me and
Yeah,
Kiki. Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, because especially the 30-day challenges, like they're super easy, to sort of do because it breaks down each day. And when somebody's like sort of going towards the goal, whether it's, like the 30-day ab challenge or,
Yeah.
going on vacation, like breaking it down into smaller sort of steps is a lot easier to sort of put together in the
Yeah, it's
long
more
run.
digestible.
Hmm. Yeah, that's very cool. How was the process of writing the book? How was that? Obviously, you do a lot of writing as it is for your blog, your blogs. But how was the process of writing an actual book?
Uh, it was difficult, and people ask me or ask us how long it took, and it's
Hmm.
hard to answer that because I started writing it 3 years ago, and then
Okay.
life got busy, and I just put it away.
Yeah.
And then I started working heavily with Kiki, and then kind of the book resurfaced again. And then luckily at that point, when she joined on, I had a co-writer. So that really
Okay.
helped speed up the process. I think that's when I got motivated to finish it, was when she joined on. And
Awesome.
then you have an accountability partner, like, I wrote one chapter, where's your chapter?
For sure.
And
Yeah.
you're just kind of keeping up with each other.
Yeah. And it's probably a lot easier and just sort of like a more motivating experience when you can bounce ideas off of somebody too, I
Yeah,
assume.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm all about teaming up with people to work on things.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, like that's great for creativity. That's great for just even developing like a more, I don't know, fuller, like more, I don't know, detailed final product. You know what I mean? Because you have all these
Yeah,
different
because you
views
have
and stuff like that. Yeah.
not just yourself.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So when you sort of first started writing it, did it was it like the goal to like actually write a book, or was it like say a blog post or just random thoughts?
It was a random thought at first,
Okay.
and then it started to be like, okay, why don't I do a blog series on this? And then when
Okay.
I started writing it, it was like, this is actually enough content to be a book.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, a lot of people do that. Like they start like that's why I was wondering because I know some bloggers like they end up writing books and it sort of started from like a blog post.
Yeah, you might as well, because as a blogger, you're writing so much. You've probably already
For
written
sure.
a couple of books worth of content on your
Yeah, yeah,
blog.
for sure. How often do you post on your blog? Like just blogging in general?
Well, at this point, we also have writers.
For sure. Yeah.
So, um, I mean, I maybe update a post at least once a week, but
Okay.
we also have several blogs. So between us, we have 4 blogs
Yeah, it's a
and
lot of
maybe
stuff to
5.
manage. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all different niches. So, but I guess our top blog that we're working on at the moment is publishing maybe at least 5 articles a week. So at least once a
Okay.
day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's a lot of content. Uh, yeah, but it's like if you're already in the groove and you're a writer, it's it's just natural.
Yeah.
Very cool. Um, when it came to sort of writing the book, what was your sort of routine like? Would you write in the morning? Would you sort of jot down notes throughout the day? What was your process like?
Yeah, it's all about the morning writing. I
Yeah.
feel like either you're a night person or a morning person, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely not necessarily a morning person, but I'm more of a morning person than a night person. I mean, I go to bed at like 10 p.m. So,
Yeah, yeah,
um, but in the morning before the emails start pouring in,
for
I think
sure.
is the best time, because
Yeah,
once
yeah.
those start coming in, it's so easy to get distracted and run off on something else.
It's so true. Like even sometimes when like I'm working or something like that, like I won't even look at my emails until I say finish whatever's on my to-do list. And then I'll go through it because I know I'll just sort of start going through tasks on my emails, answering emails. It just you lose so much time just on email. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So in terms of like writing a book, writing a blog, what would you say are the main like the main differences, the similarities between those two?
Well, I think the main difference is that for the book, you just need a book's worth of content on one topic. But
Hmm.
whereas on blog posts, we're jumping around topics all the time. Like today,
Yeah.
we're writing about the best Thailand wellness destinations. And then tomorrow, I might write about the best ginger Thai salad recipe or something.
Yeah, yeah, for
So
sure.
it's just, I think, a volume difference, first off. And then, yeah, I would say a book. I mean, obviously, it's just far more difficult to put out just because of
Yeah.
the volume and then the focus, and it all has to tie together and make sense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, and it makes a lot of sense. Do you sort of brainstorm each post that you do, each like say chapter that you do for your book? Did you like sort of mind map, like, or just jot down ideas? Like, what was your sort of?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not good at mind mapping. I've tried that before.
Okay.
Maybe it's just too complicated for me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I for a book, I would definitely recommend starting out with an outline. I don't even know how you would do it otherwise.
Hmm.
But luckily for us, there's already an outline built in. There's 30 days.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we knew there was going to be about 30 chapters, give or take a intro and conclusion.
Yep.
Um, so we came up with the every day, like what each topic was for each day,
Hmm.
and then separate it into themes for each week before we started writing.
Very cool. Yeah, so you had an idea of sort of what you were going to be writing for each day.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, no, I that's what I was wondering. Like, because I know there's 30 days to fill. Like, do you
Yeah.
guys write stuff, or are you just going based day by day? Like,
No,
oh,
no, yeah,
we
they
don't have a
were.
topic for today.
No. Yeah,
Okay.
we had an outline and how they all kind of flowed into each other before we started writing.
Okay, very cool. I like it. Um, okay, aside from sort of the book thing, we'll talk a little bit about travel. If you can give any tips, recommendations based on your expertise. When it comes to say picking a place to travel, is there anything that people should say take into consideration? Any specific things?
Well, yeah, it's, I guess very dependent upon your personal preferences. So budget would be the first concern that's probably most limiting for everyone.
Sure.
So, if you're limited in budget, you probably can't go to Africa because
Okay.
going on an African safari is extremely expensive.
Hmm.
But if you have a smaller budget, Mexico is very attainable.
Yeah.
Um, so I would say budget is the first thing to take into account.
Okay.
And I can't remember the name of this, and maybe I could send it to you later for the show notes.
Yeah,
But there's
for sure.
this really cool website that I love to use, and we actually recommend it in the book, but I can't remember it right now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you go to the website and you could punch in like, okay, here's my budget range, here's like the time I want to go, and here's like I want to go on an adventure or wellness trip, and then you
That's
punch that
very
in
cool.
and it'll give you 10 suggestions, and it's
Uh,
fun because it comes up with some suggestions that you're like, I've
yeah,
never even heard of this place before.
that's very cool. And it gives you a starting point too, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool. When it comes to booking trips and stuff like that, is there anything you recommend? Any sort of tools that people should sort of look out for?
Yeah, I'm all about Skyscanner.
Okay.
So this is another cool way to find somewhere to go is if you go to Skyscanner and go to search, there's this feature on it that's called like cheapest month. And
Okay.
then you like plug in the location as anywhere in the world. So it
Very cool.
will come out with different like, for example, if I search September, September
Hmm.
was the cheapest month, it'll punch out all the cheapest tickets around the world in September. So you might find some deals in like, you know, Zimbabwe or something that you wouldn't have considered
That's really
going
cool.
to, but there's like a $300 ticket there, which would never happen. But if there were, you'd certainly snatch it up because that would be a once in a lifetime kind of deal.
Yeah. That's really cool because I know even just for myself, just like sometimes when you're looking around and say you're looking at just places for a time period, you come across say like a destination that's it's their peak period and that's the price
Yeah.
that you see, that's the price that's always going to be in your head.
Yeah, that's another tip is travel during low season because you can get some amazing deals.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And so you use the Skyscanner app to sort of or website to sort of figure that out,
I use Skyscanner just to find out what deals.
the deals
Like if
are
I,
per month.
because my whole thing about travel is I just want to go everywhere I've never been.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of places that are up for grabs.
That's awesome.
So I'll search that to see if there's a deal happening somewhere I haven't traveled to yet.
For sure. When you're picking, say, a destination, or if somebody's like trying to decide, like, oh, should they choose between quality or like just even like say luxury or the cheap alternative?
I think that's really dependent on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a personal preference. Um, I've tried, oh my God. Oh my God, I totally forgot one of my worst experiences. So I was glamping in Peru, which sounds really awesome. But
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I suffer from, like, I'm not good with altitudes. And we were in the Cusco area, actually a little bit higher, and the altitude is crazy there. So I was glamping on a tent with some remote village in Peru on like top of a mountain. And then this altitude sickness kicked in.
Oh, yeah.
And what you really need in that scenario is like oxygen, like an oxygen tank,
For sure,
which
yeah.
like, wasn't available for miles around. So I suffered through the night, and it was pretty horrible.
Yeah,
but
that's crazy.
the next night we went to this 5-star hotel, which, oh no, I can't remember the name. I want to give you the name next for the show notes also.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
My memory today is just blanking out. But we went to this hotel, a luxury hotel, and I was still suffering from some lighter altitude sickness. And they had a paramedic on call inside the hotel for free that you could call any time of the day. So meaning at like 4 a.m. when I woke up and had a pounding headache, I called them and got some oxygen for free at 4 a.m. Yeah.
That worked out really well.
Yeah, when I switched locations. Yeah. But I noticed, like, for example, I like to have a bathroom nearby. So I glamped this other time, and then the bathroom was like kind of a hike away. Yeah. And so it was kind of scary in the dead of the night. Oh, yeah. So I had to hold in, for the whole night because I was too scared. Yeah. So I know that I can't camp or glamp because bathrooms are usually not located inside your tent. Yeah. You gotta walk outside the tent. Yeah, even I went camping a couple weeks ago at it's a national park in Ontario, in Canada, and it's called Algonquin Park. And right when you drive into the park, like there's warnings all over the thing. It's just like bears have been seen in the area. Don't keep your food out. And it's just like, okay, I'm gonna go outside at night. I'm not. Like that's not happening anymore. So yeah, it's just crazy. You have all those things running through your head, but like you forget about animals too. Ever watched the Bear Grylls documentary?
Yes.
I think it's, oh my God, that's pretty horrifying. That's what I think of whenever I think of bears.
Yeah, no, it's true though. It's you never know, to be honest.
And he was an expert.
Yeah, I know. And he's the man. Yeah. When it comes to like a first-time traveler, like going to a different country, do you have any tips for those people?
Do your research. Like, I think don't just go to a different country and like not know what's going on. Make sure to check if there's any online travel advisories. You can check state.gov.org for that. Okay. And make sure to research cultural differences, because some things that you might do in a country, at home that are not rude might be considered rude in a different country. For sure. So find out the different cultural differences that exist.
That's a great recommendation. No, it makes sense because every culture is different.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Do you ever sort of use budget airlines? How do you feel about those? That's a real big thing now.
Yeah, I have used them before. We've done a campaign with Spirit, actually. Okay. And I think they're great. I think WOW Airlines just shut down, but yeah, it did. And it killed Iceland's tourism industry. So I think budget airlines are really helping out for tourism.
For sure.
But there is a current concern happening around airplane travel.
Yeah.
It's very damaging to the environment. So that's on my radar. I'm not sure what to do about that because I have to fly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to not fly, but trying to explore ways of doing things more sustainably.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. Well, grab a bike, bike and swim.
Yeah, I'll bike at home or not eat meat or something because that's very.
Yeah.
Also, what's really damaging for the environment? I saw a survey is having kids. That's one of the number one most damaging things.
I mean, I guess. Really weird that it would be on a list, but yeah.
The grab is pretty hilarious.
That's funny. Do you use any travel points cards or anything like that? Because that's also some people use Air Miles, some people use Aeroplan. I don't know. Do you recommend anything for people trying to save on travel?
Yeah, 100%. I am totally a travel hacker. I have every travel credit card that exists, and I've run out of ones to sign up for.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about this in the book. The number one thing is that don't sign up for any travel credit cards if you have any debt. So sorry, if you have student loan debt and if you have other debt, clear that out first.
For sure.
I'm really a stickler about that because I got into debt when I was younger and it's really hard to clear.
Yeah.
So any credit cards that I have, I use them for travel spending, for gaining points only. So they're paid off immediately or at the end of the month. So I would say that's my number one tip before signing up for any credit card.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great advice. Because a lot of travel bloggers out there will be like, oh, just sign up for this. But saying that if you have debt right now, that's that's something that people forget about too.
That's really a big problem.
Yeah.
And then if you already have debt, you're probably just going to accrue more debt, because you obviously weren't able to pay off the other debt. So.
Yeah. No, and that makes total sense. Is there do you do you recommend say points or say the some cards have the payback in money, that sort of stuff?
I never use those because those do nothing for travel. But if you want to make back money, that's great. But I use my travel cards strictly for travel. So I would recommend the Chase Sapphire card. That's kind of a good beginner's card. They offer 50,000 to 100,000 point bonuses depending on specials.
Okay.
But usually it's 50,000.
Awesome.
And I use it for business class flights because I can't afford to pay $5,000 for a flight. Mm-hmm. But if you use points, it's free. So.
Yeah. That's sweet. That's awesome. Okay, very cool. Is there any travel essentials that you always bring with you? Aside from obviously the basics clothing, is there anything other than that you always have with you when you're traveling?
Yeah, a couple of things is that I like to bring these homeopathic Jetlag pills. I don't know if they actually do anything, but they seem to do something, and maybe it's all in my head. Okay. So I always bring those, and I always go to my doctor and get some medical stuff. So I get what is it called? There's one for if you get food poisoning, and then I get the Z pack in case I catch a flu or something.
Oh, very
because
cool.
I want to be healthy and feeling great on my vacation. I don't want
to
be So I think that's more important than anything.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. You don't want your vacation cut short because of a mosquito or anything.
Yeah.
So, that's great advice. Is there any tech that you bring along with you? Do you have any equipment for say photography or just cool gadgets Bluetooth headphones?
Not really. I shoot everything just on my phone and my DSLR.
Okay.
And I have just a cheap Amazon tripod if I need to shoot myself, if I'm not traveling with Kiki.
Okay.
Kiki gets a little more she has a GoPro and she has a drone.
She's techy. Yeah.
She's just, I don't know how to use that stuff, but she does.
For sure. No, that's all good. Do you have say an item in your travel suitcase, your travel gear that you would recommend to other people that's under $50? It's very
Uh,
specific. Sorry. I just think like there's always like cool stuff, but some of the stuff when it comes to travel is very expensive. Is there anything that
yeah.
you would recommend under $50?
So this is not cool or exciting,
Yeah,
but
no, if
I
it's functional, it's
never,
all good.
yeah, leave somewhere internationally without my convert. I can't give you the specific link to this because I don't know what it's called, and it's probably
Yeah,
made
yeah.
in China. But all it is like it's this plug where you could plug in like 4 different plugs, and you could plug in your USB outlets, and it has all the converters for every country.
Oh yeah, that's always helpful for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that some people, would obviously forget about because that makes a lot of sense though.
Especially if you're doing Airbnb, because often hotels will have some for you to
Hmm.
borrow. But if you're staying at Airbnb or Glamping or something, you're not going to
Yeah.
have access to these things.
Yeah, that makes sense. Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I forget what it's probably like a plug, I don't know, an outlet converter or something. I don't know
Yeah,
what it's called.
outlet converter, I
Something
think.
like that.
Something like that.
So one thing that we do every week is a book of the day. Do you have any book recommendations for the
Well,
listeners?
now I'm thinking this has probably been named on your show before, but
No,
it's definitely the 4-Hour Work Week.
for sure. Yeah, that's honestly one of my favorite books of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it's the book which like made me go on this freelance lifestyle kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. Great. I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's a fantastic. I love it. I love it. Do you have any app recommendations?
I love to travel with the TripIt app, and
Okay.
I never travel without it. Basically, when an itinerary loads into your email when you buy a plane ticket, it
Okay.
loads into the app and just like makes your itinerary so easily digestible, and you can access it without Wi-Fi.
Very
So
cool.
yeah.
That's actually really cool. I tried something, I guess, similar. Google has like a trip app as well. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I forget what it's called. It's like Google Trip or something, but I think it's similar. But this one sounds like functional that you're explaining. Yeah, because the one on Google is like, really sort of to get a basic understanding about the place that you're going to. I think it was Google Flight or something. I don't know. That sounds really cool. So Trip It. And is that on iPhone, iOS, like Android?
Definitely on the iPhone. I assume it's on the Android too.
Okay. Yeah,
One
yeah.
other really important tip for people is
Yeah.
if you travel internationally, get global entry. I think
Okay.
it's like $100 or $200 for a couple years, but you will skip the entire customs line when you get back into the country, and that can save you 30 minutes to an hour of just
Really
horrible waiting in line.
interesting. So global entry. So where do you get that from? Do you get that from like,
I could send you the link. So you have to
yeah.
go on there, like make an appointment at your local airport, and then you have
Okay.
to go in and be interviewed. So they
Oh,
basically have to just
security
find out that
facility?
you're a legit person
Yeah,
with
yeah,
no like, past felonies or whatever.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then once you're cleared, then you are good to go.
That is really cool. So that sort of works for any country, like obviously.
No, it only works for the U.S. So
For the US? Okay.
I'm sure Canada has their own.
Canada probably has one as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty similar. Okay, so going to the US, so like that saves time, like coming back, I guess leaving as well.
Coming back.
Okay,
Yeah.
coming back. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Like anytime, because I know some of those coming back, like from some like trips, because obviously like I went to Dominican Republic last year, and it's 1 or 2 flights, and everybody comes back at the same time, so you're just everybody's just so busy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It gets
by that
crazy.
time you just want to go home
And that's what I mean. Like
yeah.
it's just not fun. Like because
Yeah.
all the flights like come off at the same time. It's just I don't know, not fun. Especially if it's in a small airport too. It's just not cool.
Yeah, I'm at LAX and it's hell. So
Yeah.
it's good to
Yeah.
be able to skip it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I hear LAX is just mayhem.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a very cool feature. Um, cool. Is there anything that you would like to talk about before we sort of come to the end of this podcast?
Uh, no, I think we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, you gave like fantastic tips. Like I think these are super helpful even for myself.
Oh,
So
good.
I'm gonna use them.
Awesome. Let me
Yeah,
know
yeah.
how they go.
Yeah, for sure. So where can everybody find you on social media online?
So right now I'm my name for everything. So Kaila Yu on like Instagram, Twitter, etc. You
Yeah,
could find me off that handle. And the website we're I guess working on most excited about right now is nomlist.com, which is our food travel website.
awesome. I love it. And then what are you guys gonna be posting about that? Like just sort of like just places that you guys have been, like recommendations?
Yeah, so I just came back from Thailand. So you'll see a lot of Thailand kind of food recommendations and recipes coming up.
Very cool. I love it. And then where can everybody find the book? Where can everybody get that?
Amazon,
Okay,
all about
cool.
Amazon. Yeah.
And then it's called the 30-Day Travel Challenge, How to Make Your Travel Dreams a Reality.
Yes.
Awesome. Sweet. And then also you blog for nylonpink.tv?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nylon Pink is just more kind of like beauty and spa experiences.
Yeah. Very cool. Awesome. Sweet. So that's sort of the end of the episode. What we usually do at the end of every episode is a question of the day. So you get to ask the audience, anybody that's listening, just a random question. It could be, what is your favorite color? It could be a question that they can ponder and just think about, whether it's about travel or just, anything, to be honest.
Well, actually, I want to know what everyone's dream destination is because we
Awesome.
recently interviewed our audience and it was Greece. And I was like,
Okay.
how boring. Like, not
For
very,
sure.
like, I want to hear about somewhere exotic, but Greece
Yeah.
is like, oh, how average. Not to insult my audience.
No.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
What is your dream destination?
It's Africa just because I haven't been, so literally anywhere in Africa.
Just anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I want to
literally,
go on a safari. Yeah.
oh, that'd be so cool. Yeah. Yeah. I think right now my dream destination, it's so basic, but it's France because I just yeah, I know.
Like,
But not
wow,
even
wow.
just like, yeah, I know. Not even just like Paris, but like the outskirts of France because
Okay, that's
I
more
watch
interesting.
Yeah,
than,
yeah,
like,
like
I want to go see the Eiffel Tower.
yeah, no, like I don't really care about that, but it's just because I watch the Tour de France every year and they
Okay.
go through France and it's just like beautiful. Like they pass by these old villages and castles and stuff. So when you say France, it's very basic, but yeah, there's a lot of thought behind it.
Oh, France is
Awesome.
amazing, though.
Yeah, for sure. So what is your dream destination? Perfect. Okay, so that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a fantastic conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. It's fun.
Yeah, so everybody make sure you connect with her on social media, on her blog, follow her, check out the book, 30-Day Travel Challenge, and get it on Amazon. And that's the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch you guys on the flip flop.